This episode of Reppin' the State Line podcast with John, George, and Josh is sponsored by The Mortgage Dad. Working with George's team gives you access to an unmatched menu of mortgage programs and over 100 years of combined mortgage experience. Skip the stress, love your mortgage experience, and get home with George. Visit www.homewithgeorge.com. NMLS ID 443967.
Wait, you still do mortgages?
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing?
We're back, and we have a guest today. We're back, and we have a guest today. His name is Mike Zahniser. Hey! Welcome. There, I introduced him. Hi, does that make you feel better?
Welcome.
That was a hard left
That
turn.
was like a real hard left turn. Like usually Josh like brings us in a little bit. We talk for a few seconds. We go, oh, but wait, we have someone here in
I
studio.
just didn't want to not introduce him because it was such a big deal that I make the introduction, so I make the clip. Hey, you know what? Wait, let's just do this. Nope, that's the wrong way.
We can see
There
your
we
face.
go. There, you could see my face, so maybe this will make the clip.
Maybe.
So that I'm actually on there with Mike,
we've
the
done-
two of us. There you go.
We started doing shorts now
Yes.
for our things, and George has been in
He was in a second
of
at the end
one
of a
them.
clip.
For some reason, it doesn't like to include me in the clips.
This will be the one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's
I'm just
gonna be
trying-
all George.
I'm gonna put you on the map.
I'm
be
just
all
trying to get your
George.
breakout here. You know what I mean? It's just
Who doesn't want to see Machina on the clips?
Why
Come
Why
on.
isn't it sponsored by Machina?
yes.
I
No,
may
no.
make the switch eventually.
No, you should, because there's like no mortgages. It's only Machina.
Right now, yeah.
So you
100%.
should promote Machina instead of
But it doesn't
mortgages.
need to be promoted.
No. But there's a
If you
reason
know, you
why
know.
there's a reason why there's no mortgages because like all of Winnebago County, there's only 159 houses for sale right now.
Well, that's 159 mortgages you could do.
Good luck. The stuff that's left on the market, we'll see.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, true. So,
I don't know. I do talk to Bruce a lot, so
yeah, that's good.
Well, that's his team.
Yeah, Bruce does something that's different though. Bruce
I know I insure all those
flips. Yeah,
flips.
Bruce is a flipper now.
Yeah.
Basically. In essence.
like a
He
bird,
had to-
like a bird flipper, or a,
Yeah. He needed to reinvent himself. Everybody in our industry did. There's not one person that
Right,
not considering getting out from the mortgage side.
It's crazy.
There's a few people that are still in it and doing okay because they're hustling, but
I will tell you, I see the same 5 names
yeah.
on every contract that comes to me.
Only the strong survive.
That's it.
Yeah, 100%.
So knock on wood.
Same thing.
I'm
with
actually, at least I'm seeing names.
So,
So Mike, welcome. I mean,
Yes.
George didn't give a big push on who you are, but like you
No,
own,
yeah.
you own Maximum Performance.
Yes.
So big in the fitness, big in the health.
AKA Max P.
Max P. Multiple locations.
Love the dog. That's my favorite logo of yours, by the way.
It's actually being reinvented as we speak.
Really?
Yeah, because we've had a Frenchie, but now we got another one. So
Oh, so you're gonna add 2.
we have the second one is a Frenchie, but he's fluffy,
A fluffy Frenchie?
so he's got hair.
Oh, there you go.
What?
So
Wow.
I did see the dogs in one of your Facebook clips at the very end.
So
the
does that
other
mean
day.
mean the Frenchie is like mixed with something? Because most Frenchies aren't
the
fluffy.
Frenchies are evolving. You know, they're toy dogs anyway. They probably shouldn't be real dogs. But I guess there's a different gene that they've been breeding together over the last 10 years. So it's a full-bred Frenchie. It's just you put 2 fluffies together, you get a fluffy.
So if you
That's wild.
that's like
I
our
love
dog.
that.
The Alaskan Kleekai that we have. Nobody heard of what an Alaskan Kleekai is, but if you like Huskies, but you don't want a large dog, these are like 24 pounds.
Yeah.
And since the 80s, that's when the breed came around. It was a Siberian Husky, Alaskan Malamute, and a Pomeranian. And they got, gray and white, black and white, all white, bi-eye, 2 brown eyes, 2 blue eyes. They look like Huskies if they have a mask. Huskies don't have a mask on them. So it's just, the engineering we do, it's like, that's a dog that would never survive, like a doodle. I have a mini golden doodle as well. He would never survive in the wild. He gets wet, he gets matted. Things in his nails. I mean, needs haircuts. He would get matted and just die in the
Kind
wild.
of sounds like John Broda.
Stop. Stop.
so you've got a second dog, or do you
That's
have
pretty cool.
another Tesla or another? Yeah, no. Wait, what did you have? The motorized little car?
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini. So are you getting a second Lambo?
Well, we do have a couple Hummers now.
Oh,
So we're looking. I don't think the Hummer miniature version is out yet, but we're looking for it.
You can make it.
It's been talked about.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. Is that? I'm assuming you're driving a Hummer out there.
Yeah,
That's a new.
the
Is that the EV?
Yeah, I've got the truck version, and my wife just got the SUV version.
Is that the one with the back tires
Yep.
pivot?
So it's got the 4-wheel.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, yeah. I can just do circles right there in the street. It's pretty awesome.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crab walk, totally pointless, but a cool party
It's just
trick.
weird. I feel like it's like parallel parking for dummies.
It makes it super easy,
I'm sure it does. My wife needs that on her van.
especially being that big.
How does it work though with backing a trailer?
Does
it help it more? Or?
It just makes the turns more responsive.
Okay.
So same thing. You just don't need to turn the wheel as hard.
All right.
Interesting.
So you got Max P. You're all about fitness. You're all about helping people get in the best shape. You're an investor. You real estate. And I just found out, congratulations, you're going to be a keynote speaker coming up.
Yeah, that's what I'm told. That's what I'm told this Friday.
So I was told, and so the funny thing is, this is,
You know more than I do.
he's already going to be the keynote speaker, and this airs next week. So unfortunately, it already happened. So congratulations on a great event. But he's going to be the keynote speaker for Keller Williams, the local family reunion right here in Rockford.
yeah.
So instead of going off and doing the big reunion like they do, like I was just in Texas a few
For
weeks
the whole
back for my
company. They're doing just a Rockford
they're doing
reunion?
a Rockford reunion with just.
Well, is
their-
that
with
really
just
a
their
reunion
officers.
or just an office meeting?
I think it's more of an office party. It's
Yeah.
used to have a party.
I mean, why call it a reunion if you're only going to include a certain part of the family?
well,
I want to
sometimes
do family reunion, but I'm only going to invite my family.
From what I hear, it could be open to the extended family. I just don't know if they're really
right.
Got
Like
it.
people from other states, other cities can come and do things like that. And yeah, it seems the family reunion events, especially trying to do more local ones. Like a couple years back when I was with EXP, we were doing local events like that too. We were doing regional rallies, they were calling it. Rather than having us all travel to Florida, they were like, let's do a group meeting in Milwaukee. Let's do one in Chicago. Let's do one in Nashville. And that's what we're doing. My new company, Epic's the same way now. We're trying to keep them smaller in certain areas.
Especially for realtors, you're pretty much self-employed. So the more money and time you take away spending traveling and going to doing things like that, it really probably doesn't actually help your business much.
No.
So if you can keep it close and keep it quick, that's got to be a big benefit to that. And you'll get more people to show up.
Yeah, but if you're, I mean, I like to do it because it's fun to socialize with people that are like-minded and network and have fun.
No, I definitely agree. There's great opportunities for that, but I like more of a regional event where it's a little closer to get to. That's the thing. Like,
I don't know. I have no problem going to Hawaii if that's where it's want to be. I mean, let's go. What do we?
oh come on, we're going to be spending. I'm already still
Yeah.
panicking about the 14 days in Hawaii with you this June. So it's like,
It's going to be epic.
And you're not panicking because of the money. You're panicking because you have to hang out with George for 14 straight days.
14 days with George in
No.
Hawaii. I panic because it's farming, right? Like every business, when you're self-employed, when you're doing investment, you're trying to get people into the gym. Or I'm trying to get people to buy or sell houses. You're looking for mortgages or other clients, insurance people. If you don't plant seeds today, you don't eat 3 months from now. That's the problem. So when you take
That's a fact.
when you take half a month off,
Yep.
3 months from now, you're going to have a month that's not going to be that great. you just got to plan for it. But
I talk about this all the time, and especially with, we've been traveling 10 to 15, maybe 20 times a year for the last couple of years. And, a lot of it is, do you work out when you're gone? Do you eat healthy when you're gone? I just live my life from a different place. I don't take, my health doesn't take a vacation. My work doesn't take a vacation. Call me. If something's wrong, call me. If you want to sell me a house, call me. It doesn't matter where I'm at, if I'm here, there, or wherever, because I still, like you said, need to keep things moving forward. If I take 2 weeks
100%.
off, nobody does my job.
The bill.
So when
the
I come
bills
back,
don't stop.
it sucks.
right.
Yep, the bills don't stop. So you gotta find a way to keep
The
going.
advantage with Hawaii is it's 5 hours behind, so that's not a bad day. You could still do a little bit of emails, working, doing the
the
little
mornings,
things you need
yep.
to do. When I did that cruise though, right after COVID, and I was just starting at the new company and everything was crazy, I had no connection. we're out to sea for 3 days and there's no internet. It's like I get into port and all of a sudden my phone just blows up. And I had like 4 closings while we were gone. And I was just like, I hope everything went well.
We do about 6 cruises a year or so. And the internet connection, and since then, in the last 5 years, has come so far.
On a cruise? Oh, yeah.
I've never been.
We did a Max P cruise, so we had like 20 rooms booked on a Virgin ship, and a lot of members and some staff went from the gym just this last January, and we had great connection the whole time.
Nice.
So totally different experience.
Virgin cruise? I've never done Virgin cruise.
Yeah, it's adults only, so it's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been actually looking into that because my first ever cruise, my father-in-law, he did a generation package. He brought all his daughters, their husbands, all the grandkids.
Okay.
And we spent 14 days traveling together. It was fun with my in-laws. No, it was a great time, and he did a great job. But it was one of those things where it was my first time ever doing it, but there were so many kids everywhere. And if you didn't get down super early for a spot by the pool, you weren't by the pool all day.
Yep.
And you'd set up early, and then kids would like trash your area. And it was just like, I think an adults only experience sometimes is needed.
I've gone back and forth on that, and it really depends on the time of year you go. If you go during spring break, you get what you get. If you go over Christmas when the kids are out of school, you get what you get. But what I noticed this last time in a couple all-inclusive adults only we've done is the people who are there are older because all of the younger people have kids. So chances are they're in school. It's harder to get away. So I personally, versus this last Virgin cruise, there weren't many people younger than me on the ship. I would personally rather hang around more people my age. And with that, you might have to put up with a couple kids.
Sure, it makes sense.
But,
I mean,
if you go,
And see, for
I'm
me
screwed.
being 52 this year, I'm okay with that. I don't need your kids around. My kids are all grown. We started young, so
Is he
hey,
only
I'm with you.
52?
I'm not into those kids either.
I am only 52. Yes, I'm not even 52 yet. July.
You also get a free walker when you book a cruise.
Yeah, for John. John gets a walker included. They put it in his room. They're not sure if he needs it or not.
Then when he gets his sea legs, they give him
I get a jazzy.
So
in a wheelchair.
So, hey, I'm kind of screwed every time because my wife's a teacher. So the only time we can vacation as a family is spring break, Christmas break. I would have no problem pulling my kids out, especially younger, pull them out for a week just to have a less busy time, but can never do it because Monica can't. So it stinks.
Rockford Public School does not, they are not conducive to helping out a teacher.
No.
They find every way to screw a teacher possible. My wife's also a teacher
at Rockford School, so
it's ridiculous.
They do have amazing benefits, though.
No, they don't.
I think so.
My wife, Lindsay, was an art teacher for 1 year, way back, maybe 15 years ago or so now.
Yeah.
That was the year that last time the Rockford District went through a strike, and fortunately, her position was eliminated. So that was when she came on with me full-time at the gym. And,
Blessing in disguise,
we
right?
never had to worry about it again. I got real excited. I was going to marry her, and she was in school, and I was like, man, I'm going to have great insurance. And then,
that happened.
Still no insurance, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, but you guys do a hell of a job with the gym. Super impressive. I mean, you guys have 3 locations. Classes every day almost.
well, Machesney Park, Belvidere. Where else?
Downtown Rockford.
Downtown Rockford.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
I know Machesney Park because of the axe throwing there too.
Yep, 100%. And you guys have classes almost every day. But then you guys have like all these other side projects that you guys jump into that keeps people motivated, keeps people working out. You have the Max P games, a bunch of runs that you guys participate in, the cruise. There's a gala coming up or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty impressive. You built a whole lifestyle around.
It's been a long evolution.
Yeah,
and
100%.
We've made a lot of mistakes. We've learned from a lot of them. We've never really failed at anything. We've just had expensive lessons.
Sure,
That's a fact.
And I think that goes back to because I barely graduated high school. I didn't go to college, so I never had any student debt. So I think this is my form of student debt. Just learning stuff the hard way.
that's a really interesting, smart way of thinking about it.
It makes me feel better. It makes me sleep better.
I mean, it's kind of like my first home. I did everything on my first home. Finished the basement, did the lawn, did everything. And I learned what I really sucked at. and like you said, it was a great starter home because I learned. And now on my real home, I knew what I can handle and what absolutely not.
You learned one really big lesson there, George.
What?
Just call
Just call Jeff.
Just call Jeff. Just call Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, but time's money if you think about it. So that's the amount of time for the quality that I would get if I did it myself a second time. It's not worth
Well,
it.
you can always make more money. You can't make more time.
Correct.
We've only got so many
100%.
minutes in a day, and that's it.
So, question for you.
Yeah.
At what point in your life / careers, right, did you say, I want to open my own gym? There has to be that one pivotal moment, right?
It was really never. Probably from the ages of 16 till about I was 22, 23 years old, I was fired or relieved from about 35 jobs. I just found I wasn't really employable. I wasn't a good employee. I didn't care about anything. I was just trying to go out and party at night. Barely graduated high school, like I said. I had my daughter right out of high school, so I was just struggling, making it by. And I didn't really have any responsibilities or anything like that. So I really had no other option except for paving my own way, making my own schedule. So pretty much ever since then, I've just been doing whatever I can to make it work. So we did construction for a long time. I had always done that with my dad. He was just a mailman, but always did projects and stuff at night. So I always helped him with that. So just kind of got into that, hillbillied my way through that. And we started the gyms, total accident, because at the time we lived in a cul-de-sac and we were doing snow plowing and moving and delivery of household furniture. Back then we had an account with K's Merchandise. We were doing all the deliveries for their furniture. And so I had all this stuff parked in front of the house and the neighbors kept calling the city. So we actually finally had to get a little office space. So we moved into the building across from what's now the brew house. Back then it was a deserted place where homeless people slept. It was, downtown was a little different 15, 16 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so we moved everything down there. And at the time, because I was working 20-hour days doing construction, I was always into fitness, but I was just working out at the house. So I had 30 or 40 machines, like with real machines with weight stacks, all through the basement, all into the kitchen. So we didn't have a kitchen table. We had a squat rack there. And when we got the office, I just took all the workout equipment, moved it down to the office. Started working out a little bit. At the time, we were doing door-to-door window sales. It got cold. And back then, we put a couple ads on Craigslist because that's how we were advertising a lot for windows. So I figured I'd do it for personal training. Started doing that, got a few people. And after that winter, we just kind of never went back. So it was
crazy.
Just a happy accident, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes that's
the first 10 years weren't real happy. Those were rough, but it's working out now.
dang.
Well, it's trying to figure out your path and everything like that too, because I know similar work jobs for other people for years, went from sales job into construction because I had to. Worked my way up through the union, transferred, moved here, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, the economy tanks and they're like, bye. And you're like, what do you do? So started a company out of nowhere in 2009, had no clue how to run a business, how to start a business, how to do any of that.
Yeah.
I know you and I ran into each other a while back too with, I was going through Wake Up Warrior. I know you were doing the same thing. Talk a little bit about finding somebody to like kind of mentor a little bit, because that's, that changed what I did.
I never actually went through the program.
Right.
But I followed and studied, everything I could.
I did the same thing. I couldn't give this guy 10 grand for 3 days. Like it just didn't work. But
I was at a conference one time and Garrett was speaking on stage and I was there by myself. So I went back to my hotel room that night and I just started going through the funnels that he had. And by the end of it, I was like, oh my God, I am so damaged. I am so messed up. I need this so bad. But then I woke up the next day and I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah,
So I did,
dude. You in the moment though, they do a hell of a job.
It's great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people need it for sure.
100%.
well, I had the same thing. My 2015 was a horrible year for me with my construction company, and I didn't talk about it to people back then. It was one of those things like, how's things going? Oh, things are great. Wife and I are fighting all the time. I'm yelling at, Okay.
I think I broke something.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Yelling at the
George,
kids.
stop pushing buttons.
I didn't touch it. That's not me. And
Definitely George's fault.
That's always George's
and
fault.
we do not have any mic issues today.
No, because I tightened all the
I think
cords.
that was the problem.
Don't knock on wood, guy.
But
Oh,
I get it.
stop.
I'm sitting there like just business is about to fail. Bad year in 2015, 8 projects, made money on 1, broke even on 2, and lost my ass on 5. My own fault.
And then he met me.
Well, I didn't meet you for a couple more years, but it was Garrett. I'm scrolling through Facebook, watch the video, that 2-hour documentary.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in such bad shape. So, but I did the same thing. I couldn't afford the program. So it was like, find the podcasts, watch the videos on YouTube that he did for years, piece together, start doing your core 4 on your own, drinking green smoothies, getting my walks in. And a lot of that I still do. But it was meditating that was the biggest thing that got me. So starting to meditate, and I saw a vision while meditating, which was the weirdest experience, but that's why I sell houses now.
Okay.
It was like the universe, God, whatever you believe in, something. I finally opened myself up to listen to somebody other than my own brain, and everything said, you need to do this. And it was a pivotal shift. And since then, since 2017, it's been a phenomenal change.
Yeah.
I just wish I would have found these changes 10 years earlier, but
Yeah.
you know how it is. You got to go through bad times in order to get the experiences to be able to do the right thing down the road. So,
Before the walker came. So yeah.
Our timing with business stuff is pretty similar. 2009 is when we opened the first location for the gym. And right before that, 2007, 2008, 2009, we were flipping houses, trying to be, like Chip and Joanna.
oh, I had
And,
2 houses that went terribly bad for me flipping in 2008.
Yeah. I discovered that the bank probably shouldn't have given me 3 loans in one day with no proof of income, no down payment, and finance me at 110%. So I was definitely part of the problem with whatever happened with that, but that caused us, we went through bankruptcy at that time. And so when we started the gym, I was like, well, what do we got to lose? We just filed bankruptcy.
Yeah, same here.
So it couldn't be any worse, couldn't be different. And then, it was about till 2016, 2017 when we started thinking about like what's next. And I remember just probably 100 days where we were just crying. And it was probably more me crying than Lindsay. But like, I don't want to do this anymore. I've been doing 20-hour days. Like, we slept at the gym, not because we were homeless, just because I didn't want to take the time to drive home to come back in 4 hours. It was just easier to sleep there, take advantage of the time I could. And so it was right around that same 2016, 2017 where we started getting into more real estate minded, kind of what's next. At the time, we didn't have a savings account. We put everything back into the business. We didn't have a retirement fund. I've been self-employed forever. So, there's no Social Security or 401k or anything like that. But that was kind of really when it made a big turn.
Yeah.
So just looking for the signs on the wall, making a pivot. Well, the success though. I mean, how many properties do you guys have now?
I lose count. We've got north of 60 properties.
Right, I thought I saw that in one of your videos. You were
crazy.
You talk about your dad, and then you're like, invest over 60 properties.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
80 some doors, something like that. But yeah. We bought the first property and it took a long time. And I went to the bank in 2016 and I said, I've got enough money for a down payment. I've got good credit. I want to buy a house. He said, well, let me see your taxes for the last 2 years. And I was like, oh, being self-employed, they didn't show anything. Plus we weren't making any money anyway. So then for the next 2 years, I had to sit there, think about it, study, watch podcasts as we paid ourselves from the business, a W-2 paycheck. We would pay the taxes, cash the paycheck, and put it right back into the business because the business wasn't profitable. We were losing money at the time. So really what was keeping the business afloat, even till the first 8 years, was me doing side projects on the weekend for construction stuff. So after we finally were bankable, we ended up buying our first house. And my thought process was, if I buy one house every year for 10 years, in 20 or 30 years, when I'm old, I'll do this gym thing for a while, and I'll just be able to sell it, and then I'll have like $150,000 one year, and I'll have $150,000 the next year as we just sell them off, and over the time I'd have over $1 million. But after I rented the first one and saw that it made $500 a month profit, I just real quick switched and said, I need as many of these as fast as freaking possible. So ever since then, we've been buying 10 to 18 houses a year, rehabbing them all. We've got a full-time five-guy crew on payroll now doing the rehab stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know, we've got an awesome team at the gym. They've been with us for a long time. Jill, our district manager, you know, she's a boss. She runs everything. She's been with us for about 12 years. Started with us as a member before that. And most of the team has been with us for between 3 and 12 years before with the gym stuff too. So
That's great.
that frees up a lot of time for us to be able to focus on the other stuff.
Well, having the right people in place is always key.
Oh, 1,000%.
So, and that's the hard part, right? It's giving up control and cloning yourself because you can't expand when you get to a certain point. It's like you're stuck.
Time, like I said.
Yeah, time. You can't make more. You can't create more time, but if you put systems and people in place, you just doubled your time.
Yeah, see, with Machina, I'm in the infantry stages, so I'm still working on building it to something, and I finally have my first contracted help.
Okay.
So it's really cool now that I'm at 2. I'm not just 1 anymore, and so we'll see how much I grow and where I go, but I definitely understand what it ain't easy to build a company.
Leadership and delegation isn't something that most people are taught. You know, everybody can be taught it and you can learn it, but it's not a normal thing.
Right.
You know, we're just follow as a kid. We do what our parents say. We go to school. We do what they say. But
Right.
We've lost a lot of good people in the past because we didn't know how to treat them. You know, I just thought everybody was like me. And I get up, I go to work. I work all day long. I come home, I work more. I fall asleep when I'm working. I wake up in the middle of the night working. I get up and do it again tomorrow because that's what I'm supposed to do because that's what my dad did.
Yeah.
We've got some people on staff that don't know how much they get paid. And as long as you give them a hug and a high five, they're just happy. So I can't say, oh, you need to make more money because they don't care. We did a color personality test, kind of like a DISC evaluation type thing.
Yeah.
And that really opened my eyes to see. I was like, oh, shit. I guess I'm the weird one. I thought everybody else in the world was weird for so long.
Yeah. I forget which company it was with that we all had to take one. I think it was Churchill. We all took a disc. And it's very eye-opening to see what type of personality you are and what's out there.
Yeah.
The other types that there are.
I made that comment many times. I do some leadership stuff with the Heartland Realtor Organization. We had some big meetings and everybody started talking numbers. I was like, whoa, stop. Have you guys seen my DISC assessment? I am 98% I, and then the D, the S, and the C are all at 47. Like, stop the numbers. Tell me the feel-good stuff. Why are we sitting here? Why are we doing this? Numbers will figure themselves out.
I can't focus on spreadsheets. It's
No,
not my thing.
it's all about personality. It's all about the influence. Like, just tell me what you need. Ready, go, aim.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Ready,
It's
ready,
like-
fire, aim.
It's what drives you to do everything during the day, right?
Right.
And you said something, John, and it kind of resonated with what we were talking about yesterday, right? And, and this kind of just clicked in my head, right? You went from building houses and hating it, right?
Right.
To selling houses
And hating it. No, just kidding.
and loving it. So,
It's always a love-hate.
to loving it, okay?
Yeah.
Where I'm getting at is I'm obviously in the insurance business. We are always looking for more help, right? And so we are kind of on this path of we had a couple of people retire because of some health reasons. We have to fill those shoes. Well, those are some really, really big shoes to fill. So I just put a Facebook post out there. You know, is there anyone interested in insurance, right? Have you been in insurance before? Are you licensed? Are you looking to get out of the captive world to get into the independent sector of the world, which is a whole new ball game, right? And I thought, you know, John's kids would be really good at some insurance stuff. And he goes, well, you know, my daughter really, really likes her job, which is great.
My daughter, right out of high school, found an online school, finished it in record time, got her license and certificate, and she's a pharmaceutical tech.
Okay.
I mean, 19 years old, and she's working at Meyer. She loves it, and then she coaches gymnastics. So she loves being a coach. She loves helping the girls. So she was like, I don't want to give either one of these jobs up to do something else.
Right. So he was like, her boyfriend James would want to talk about it. So we went to lunch and we were just talking, and then I asked some very basic questions, and He goes, I go, what are your passions? He goes, I love cars. Sweet. He goes, but I don't want to work on cars for a living. I said, you ever thought about just selling cars? No, but that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, I hate working on houses, but maybe I should sell houses. Right? It kind of just literally went together. Like,
I loved construction when I first started, but when I lost my job as a foreman with the Carpenters Union and I needed to find something and no one was hiring, it's like, okay, what's my skill set? Well, I know how to build stuff. And I worked in sales for, 8 years before I was in construction. So I know how to talk to people. So I started a remodeling company. I hated every minute of that time because it wasn't what I really wanted to do in my life.
Yeah.
Like I got to work, you got to feed your kids, you got to keep the roof up, that's
100%.
just what it was. So it was work all the time and do what you got to do. But my happiest day was when I shut it down, filed bankruptcy, and I was done. It was like, we're done. And I got my real estate license. I'm like, now I'm happy.
Yeah.
but the key is, right? Do something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
It won't feel like work. You'll wake up happy every day.
Yeah.
So we have a 19-year-old kid in front of me, right? We're eating. And I'm like, as much as I want you to come work and learn the insurance, you're 19. Do something that you're passionate about. Fail at something you're passionate about and then have to pivot from there. But don't get locked into a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 5, 8 to 4:30 just because you think that's what you might want. You can find what you want while chasing your dreams. When I was 19, I was traveling all over the United States playing baseball. And those were the greatest times of my life until baseball said, hey, you're done, right? Then I pivoted, like we discussed, right? And kind of went from there. And so I think he should go sell cars.
Well, it's funny because when we were done, I called my good friend Brandon Campbell. He's now the sales manager.
Owns Campbell's Soup.
No, he's the sales manager at Anderson Toyota now. He got promoted, but my family's bought many cars from him over the years. And it's one of those things where you meet someone that works with you, you like them, that you become friends. And it's like when I need a service, it's like I call him first. When I was looking for a car, my Saturn Vue was dying on me finally. And I'm like, I need a car. And I was like, hey, if you come across something, I need something good for sales. And he called me up one day and goes, I just got a 2011 Ford Taurus. It has under 70,000 miles on it. It's $9,000. Do you want it? I'm like, let's go look at it. That's the kind of guy you want, right? Somebody that's looking for what you need.
Yeah.
So my son bought a brand new Toyota from him last year. We bought probably 10 cars from this guy. Okay. So right away I call him and he's like, yeah, I'd love to talk to James. So we stopped in. James filled out an application, talked to a few of the salespeople, and he's going to go in and, see what happens from it though. So that's one of those things.
Look at that.
But you never know.
We would have never have got to that point.
No.
If we didn't just go eat some tacos at Lufaro or Marrufo's.
Marrufo.
Oh,
Marrufo.
and-
Have you gone there
okay,
yet?
so
I haven't.
On South Alpine.
so how is it?
Amazing. It is good. I had just beef, street tacos, corn tortillas, just for them. Their salsa. They have a salsa bar.
Nice.
And I was just like,
Marrufo's.
Marrufo's.
On
I
South
had that,
Alpine, like how far south?
like south of Lonnie's.
Okay,
Like if you get to
Yeah.
if you get to Sandy Hollow, you went too far.
got it.
So it's like
It's right
there
next
in
to
middle.
the five alarm coin laundry. They used to be. Is it JoJo's Pizza? Wasn't it JoJo's Pizza for a long time?
I think it was because I told you it was either a Chinese place or a Chinese food or a pizza place with the way it was set up with the kitchen right there in the middle of the whole thing.
Okay.
Interesting.
So,
But yeah, we would
Marrufo's.
have never have got to that situation if we never had lunch. So
Well, and you would have never had lunch there if it wasn't for our guest.
yeah,
That's true.
Crazy.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Our first guest of the season, she told us about the place.
And now we've 2 out of the 3 of us eating there. Thanks for the call though, by the way. Appreciate that. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't get to go to a Bulls game this year, but
Oh Lord. I know this season.
See, you had to sit like row 3.
I know. I sat like row 3. He's on the floor now. It's like he's moved up.
courtside. Yeah, it's fun.
So interesting. I don't think we were connected on Facebook until today.
Correct.
And so when I found your name on Facebook and I clicked on it, and it doesn't show every post, just a couple of them if you're not friends with somebody. So I just scrolled down a little bit and I saw, it looks like your wife, Kelsey,
Yep.
was birthday congratulations. And I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't remember, but it's her birthday, January 14th.
It is.
So is mine.
Wow.
We were married on July 19th.
And we got married July 20th.
Might have been, yeah, right around that same time. And then my wife's birthday is March 6th.
And mine's March 9th.
So yours is pretty close.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And now you guys are friends.
That's
Look
wild.
at that. Look
That's
at
wild.
It's a small world.
That. It is.
So speaking of food, though, like we're talking about Marrufo's, you are a big fan of Fresh Start Cafe.
Yeah.
We're always talking about that place. And I will tell
Oh,
you,
I love
I
that.
love Fresh Start.
their breakfast burrito is one of my favorites.
Okay, awesome.
Just good food, fast, freshly cooked. Just amazing. So
You know, I went in there the first time. We ended up, we actually bought a property. So we have a light industrial property, a couple buildings behind there. And we were eating breakfast there, and that's when we saw that. So now we go there all the time. But, you know, the first day we were in there, like mom was waiting tables, dad was cooking the food, the kids were filling up the coffee. And I was like, you know, I love this old school work ethic. This is what people need. So then I just made it my goal was to promote this place until I make the menu. So
Really?
I'm still currently working on that. I think I'm going to have to print the menus for them, pay for them, and just bring them to them. But like now we don't even order. They just write like Mike and Lindsay on the ticket, and then our food comes out. So
all right, so what is the Mike and Lindsay?
So I get a 6 egg white omelet with just ham and green peppers.
Okay.
No cheese, anything like that. Wheat toast and a side of fruit.
All right.
So Lindsay used to do a burrito, the breakfast burrito with a few things modified, but then she just started doing the same thing I do.
Interesting.
You know, we eat there probably 4 days a week. I eat out pretty much every meal, maybe 15 times a week we eat out. Our food budget's pretty aggressive.
Right. But you know what?
But also, though,
you're getting the food you want. It's fueling what you needed to do. And if you went and bought the same stuff, because obviously you eat
Time.
fresh food, stuff like that, your time, it would cost you more, and it'd probably rot in the fridge half the time with the way
That's
you
what I
run
was going
around.
to say. Is like when you live a busy life, a super busy life, it's almost more cost effective to go buy whatever you want, whether it's the special of the day somewhere or whatever, than it is to buy. I mean, I spend $300 to $400 a week in groceries for my family.
Yeah.
Half the time it goes bad. I mean, or the kids eat 4 bites of it and throw it away. And so we've done the same thing. We cook probably 3 meals a week at night. The other ones we go out because I could take the kids to Fiesta Cancun and they enjoy it, and it's significantly cheaper and we get 2 meals out of it for the kids than it is to go and
100%.
buy.
Especially places that still do kids menu pricing. Super cost
Dude,
effective.
my kids go to Fiesta Cancun, right? The girls.
Yeah.
And they get a side of tortillas, a thing of sour cream, and rice and beans. And that's what they want. They just want to put the sour cream on the tortilla and eat the rice and beans. And they literally have 2 meals out of it.
There you go.
Best way to do it.
Yeah, I know.
And it costs us $60 to go out to dinner.
I mean, I think it was Culver's. They have the kids meal. Cheap.
Cheap.
When
Whatever, they
consider-
make up for it on everything
It's
else.
not.
at
It's not
Culver's.
Culver's.
No,
it's not Culver's.
Culver's.
Trust me.
There's
it's not.
somebody that
Culver's is expensive. Like
maybe-
real expensive.
Maybe you're thinking beefaroo?
No, there was some place where
Because I mean, Culver's, one person goes to Culver's, it's like $20.
Facts.
I don't know. Well,
But
anyways,
Culver's
there's
is
a
still
couple.
better. Culver's is better than McDonald's. You know what I mean? But there's definitely food that's better than Culver's.
I like Chick-fil-A personally. We get that a lot. It's a lot of healthy food at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I get the grilled nugget
Grilled,
Cobb salad.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Or the Southwest salad.
So contrast popular belief, I actually go to McDonald's every day.
What? See the coffee?
You know, I'm about a half a gallon of coffee type of guy.
Yeah.
So I every morning I get 2 coffees, and I might make another stop back later and get another 1 or 2. But if I don't go to Fresh Start, normally on the app they've got breakfast sandwiches 2 for $4. So I'll get 2 Egg McMuffins with, on the app, you can pick and choose what you don't want or want on there. So I'll do no butter. That gets rid of like 30 calories each. And then when I get them, I take a fork and take the yellow part of the yolk out, because nutritionally, most of the fat that's in an egg is in the yellow part, but most of the protein is in the white part. So I would just pretty much just get an egg white with a piece of cheese and a piece of ham, and then I don't eat half of the muffin. So I get about 10 carbs, 15 carbs per sandwich, and so I make it as healthy as possible. You know, it's real eggs.
Right.
You know, not
No,
like
that's the one thing of theirs. The McMuffin is a fresh cracked egg every time.
I think they also though did like switch their patties, like their burger patty. It's actual ground beef, like fairly good for you.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
know. Recently, there's a lot of changes being made in the food, like
Yes.
the way the chicken and
The
French
oils,
fries,
the
yeah,
different
yeah,
oils
the way
are
the
now
deep
going
fried
away,
stuff.
and now it's going to be beef talon or something like that.
Which is
You know
how
what
it
kinda-
used to be.
You know what
Yeah.
kind of makes me sad is we ate baked wings a lot, and they're no longer.
I know.
You can still get them. Now you just got to go to Pomodoro.
You got to go to Pomodoro
What?
to get them there.
Why did they close down?
The
Well,
two-
it makes even more sense because you weren't there last week. That's why. So they closed.
Yeah.
But you know, it's that's a tough thing because it worked well during COVID when they opened it.
Yeah.
But it's a one-trick pony. So if you already had wings or you don't want wings, you're not going there.
See, I always got the barbecue chicken salad,
See,
and it was phenomenal.
And I love their salt and vinegar wings. And I would get the I'd get the ranch and the buffalo sauce on the side.
Their
'cause I like to control
bourbon,
that.
their bar was a hidden
No,
gem.
the bar was a great
Yeah.
bar, but the thing was you could only drink at the bar.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And it's wings.
Yeah.
And
So
chicken salads.
it'll be a great compliment to Pomodoro.
Yeah.
And you know, without the extra overhead. They already have a kitchen there. They can make.
But their
delays, put
second
them on the
location, they opened one in Wisconsin somewhere, and that one's doing really well, I guess.
You know, that I haven't heard anything about, but I think the location where Baked Wings is at is a tough one. If you're,
Yes.
if you're in a college town and there's foot traffic and there's people walking by and there's random people, you're
Yeah.
going to stop in. But you have to actually think about it and make that a destination to go there. Like you got a plan to take your family there. You're not just driving by or walking by and saying, hey.
Oh,
grab
yeah.
this
That
real
sounds
quick.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And that's most of the restaurants in town. We have to make a conscious choice to go there.
There's
Correct.
also
Or
a new
or you don't see
Mexican
it. Yeah.
Mexican restaurant opening up at the old Fuji Cajun, and I feel like there's been nothing successful in that.
The Fuji Cajun spot. Yeah.
So wait, what's the deal though? So they made a deal with Pomodoro?
Same owner.
Same owner.
Same owner.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Because the
that.
wings actually started at Pomodoro during COVID.
Yeah. People weren't coming to the
Got it.
restaurants, so they needed something quick and easy that wasn't like salmon that you could get to take home during the shutdown and stuff.
Right. So, I mean, I will tell you, Pomodoro, though, they do a New York style pizza, which for Rockford area, it's the best New York style pizza. I think it's the only New York style.
That, and since they opened, the price of chicken for
Has
businesses
skyrocketed.
had doubled. It did
Yeah.
one time triple or quadruple, but now it's back
Jeez.
to double. So that changes, you know, because you can only charge so much to get people to actually come back. You know,
Right.
10 wings for $25 isn't going to be real popular.
Yeah.
No, because that drives me nuts too. Because I'll buy the bags of chicken wings. And I told my wife to stop. No offense to people, stop buying them at Meijer. I get them at Walmart now because she's been getting me like 4-pound bags of wings from Meijer, and it's like there's 16 wings in the bag, and when you cook them down in the air fryer, they look huge when you put them in, and when you cook them down, they're like tiny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are they weighing these things when they're frozen? And then you get an 8-pound bag for the same price of the great value ones, and you get like 3 meals out of them. When they cook down, they're monster-sized wings.
Yep.
So,
That's interesting.
but I basically live on, wings with the air fryer.
What
and then
about-
I mix buffalo dressing and
What about chicken tendies? Now we got this new place. That's a one-trick pony, but everybody seems to love
Canes.
Oh,
Canes.
I'm not going to Canes for the principal
because of what they
because
replaced.
the owner of the
Yeah.
buildings shut down and got rid of Stone Eagle, which they made a comeback for me during COVID. Like we went back,
Yep.
and the food was. Don't get me wrong.
But
Jimmy does a
Jimmy's
great
like
job.
125 years old. And that dude's been around the block 14 times.
Right. And rumor has it he's opening another location.
That's what I'm just
somewhere
saying,
around.
like, he
he's
can't
bringing
get
back.
that mad
He's bringing
at
back
him.
Jungle Gyms, but
It's in his blood.
It's
I mean, some people that's what they are, serial restaurateurs, entrepreneurs.
well, I don't know if it's true, so don't quote me. But I thought it was like Jimmy's wife or daughter or something is the Crave Kitchen,
I think it's daughter and wife.
right? That's who has that place. So I'm dying to go over there. I haven't been there yet. Because again, it's
Crave
a
is
destination. You
excellent.
drive by and you can't.
Crave
you don't
is-
realize it's there
yeah.
until you drive by and you go, "Oh, I already ate and I wanted to try that."
They also have a great bar.
Yeah, it's one of those weird locations.
Yeah.
Hard to get
Very
in and out
weird.
of, but I think they've got a really good niche in the business. And because like downtown, there was the restaurant that's just closing, Peruvian, Mediterranean.
Oh yeah.
That
The
one,
Del Mar or something like that.
that one takes education for the public to understand what it is. When you go there to read the menu, none of it makes sense. At Crave, it's fancier, not crazy expensive,
Right.
but all the food makes sense. And I've been there 5-10 times. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about it.
Yeah, Crave is excellent.
So
I've been there
think
too.
They've got a good niche, and that's what you got to have is to get people to come back to not prime or 100% best location is something like that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Prime, that was the problem with Prime Steakhouse.
Location.
It was a bad location.
That place closed?
They've been shut down for a long time now.
Oh, I
yeah.
never went.
So we went.
For me, it's really hard to, personally, it's really hard to spend $60 on a steak and then have to spend another $15 on a potato, another $15 on broccoli,
That's the hard part
a
about
little $4 on the side salad.
Yeah, that's the hard part about that in this market. Something like that won't survive if there's not a Whole Foods. And Whole Foods is not here because they know there's not enough people
that would
Right.
buy.
that would make it work.
Which I would love a Whole Foods or even a Trader Joe's, like to be
it'll
in
never
the Rockford
come.
area because I just want better options.
There's just not enough people. And even if you go to Woodman's, their clearance section is the organic stuff.
Right.
Like, because it's the same thing. It's more money. It's more expensive. You need a different demographic, and you almost need market education as to why that's worth it.
I agree.
Yep.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, before we do any of that, I'd like to do one thing. You're busy. You're on the go. You're into health. You're into nutrition, all that stuff. What are some great tips for somebody that wants to try to be a little healthy, but they have no time for anything?
So you're talking about me?
Well, just like all right, so I'm
Just say, so Josh wants to know.
No, I'm an older guy who doesn't eat well all the time. I try to get an exercise in when I can. So I'm asking a tip. What would you like just throw out there for somebody? Just what's the best way to just keep moving?
My dad always used to say when I was young, and I used to hate it so much, and now I say it and it just pisses me off. But he used to say, you don't have the time, you have to make the time. So everything we do is a choice. We've chosen to have kids. We've chosen to get a second dog, which is sucking up some time. We've chosen to do this or get a car payment or a house we can't afford or whatever it is. So now we need to live with those choices. But either way, we still need to live. So we need to make our health somewhat of a priority. For 45 minutes a day, 3 to 4 days a week, we can make that work. Stop watching Netflix. Look at the screen time on your phone. How much time you're spending on Facebook. Can you knock 45 minutes on that? Or at least do it while you're on the treadmill. Something like that. So really it's prioritizing it. But the biggest thing is setting a goal. If you don't have a reason why, it's not going to happen.
100%.
Because exercise sucks. I would personally never work out if I looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but unfortunately I don't. So I have to do stuff. Like even the word like deadlift doesn't sound fun. But if you want to be strong and healthy, you got to do some exercises. If you want to be strong and healthy, you have to eat good. Eating good sucks. Eating pizza and wings and deep fried stuff like that is great. But it doesn't make you look and feel the way you want to. So the biggest thing is setting a goal, figuring out a reason why. Why do you want to get healthy? Not just because I want to get healthy. That's not important enough not to do the normal stuff to break your habits to get into something else. So after you set a goal, like a long time ago, I was a little bigger, 15 pounds bigger or something like that. And my daughter asked me, she's 23 now, asked me if I wanted to go sledding. And I told her no. And it was just in my head because I didn't want to pull her back up the hill. So I could go outside and flip the car over, but I didn't have enough energy to walk up and down the hill, so we didn't go sledding. Now she's 23, now those days are gone. So after that, my reason for training changed. And when you have a strong enough reason why to get out and start doing some cardio stuff like that, it gets a little better. But the biggest thing is nutrition. And, like I said, I eat out 15 times a week. You can make it work. You just have to change a little bit what you're doing. And you can lose weight, you can feel better, you can not have diabetes and all that stuff just by eating better. You don't have to work out to not gain weight. It helps. And if you want to be strong and have more energy, it helps. But really just figuring out what you're doing now and what's not working. So I like to, when people start at Max P, I like to establish your habits. I want to track your food for a week. I want to see when you're eating, what you're eating, where you're at, who you're around. Because if you like to eat ice cream on the couch at night before you go to bed every day, and I tell you to eat a cucumber, like that's not going to work. So, but if I see you're eating ice cream every night, but we could do a big protein shake, throw some ice in there and some flavors, to make it as close as possible. After a few days of helping you work together to hold you accountable, we can change that habit. That could be one quick, easy thing, and that could shave a couple hundred calories off, and that could be enough to get you to where you want to be. It could be when you go out for breakfast in the morning, are you eating omelets with whole eggs? Because the whole egg has 6 grams of fat. But if you switch it to egg whites, an egg white only has 1 gram of fat. So if they're putting 4 eggs in an omelet, just by switching from whole eggs to egg whites, you could get rid of 20 grams of fat. In your omelet, you probably don't need the cheese. That could get rid of 10 more grams of fat. So we're not changing the place you're at. We're not changing your habits. We're not changing your surroundings. We're just making it a little different.
A tweak.
Yep.
Make some tweaks.
So, and, after we establish your habits, see where you're at, kind of make some changes, then we'll do that for a while, build those habits, reassess, and then see what else we can fit in. But really just shaving off 1 or 2 of those things, being mindful, like you have been crushing it. You know what's good, you know what's bad.
Yeah.
Like I love to ask people, and I just what is,
I just changed my lifestyle, period.
Yeah.
I'm never going back to eating how I used to eat.
Yep. So, this Saturday, we're actually doing a nutrition talk at the gym. And normally I'll start that off with I want to run through a few things real quick. Just raise your hand. Tell me, is chicken healthy? Yes. Cool. Is broccoli healthy? Yes. Cool. Is Snickers healthy? No. Is ice cream healthy? Mm-mm. Cool. So everybody knows what to do. Like there's no secret.
Wow! Congratulations.
My job's done.
I can't switch like going to get a Big Mac meal and just having a Snickers bar instead.
That might actually be better. Yeah. But so it's all the accountability. But even with the right accountability, I could call you, I could text you every day, but if you don't care at the end of the day, if you don't have that reason why, if you don't have a goal, that's going to be the biggest thing. But it's really just about making those small changes that fits into your life. So, the way you're eating doesn't fit into my life.
Mm-hmm.
I eat out a lot. I like food. I just eat my food a little different. And your life is totally different than my life. So you can't do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You've got kids, family. I'm financially free right now. My daughter's 23. She's in her last semester at City First Leadership College. She's going to be a pastor after that. So we don't have any kids. We have nothing to do.
So you don't have to pay for a 10, 4, and 3-year-old?
No. And that goes back to those choices. After having the first one, I was like, oh my God, why would people want to do this again? We took our nephews and niece out to a movie a couple days ago. And we went to Chick-fil-A. All I got was a chicken wrap. That was it. $70. Then we went to the movie. We were $200 before this night was over. I was like, how do people do this?
You ain't kidding.
Yeah. It ain't cheap. That's for sure. Yesterday, I ordered Chick-fil-A for dinner, $80 for 4. Oh. And I had salad. They got the grilled nuggets, regular nuggets, and Monica gets her kale salad. And it's like,
Denise and I did
what the hell?
Did a cheese pizza from Pietro's last night, $15. And we even called two of my grown kids still live with us, call them roommates. And it's like, all right, we're ordering a pizza. Would you guys like some? No, we're good. Even better, because that just cut my bill in half.
Yep. So
if they want some, it's 2 extra large pizzas, $30.
Yeah. See, I'm in the thick of it, guys. I'm in the thick of it.
I hear it gets better around like the age of 26. So you're almost there.
I'm more than halfway with one.
The problems
My
don't go
oldest is
away;
20.
they just get more expensive.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding. I work 3 jobs. I have 3 kids. I'm busy.
I get, like I said, though, 2 adult kids still living at home. So it's just, but they're roommates. It's a different dynamic.
A whole different
now.
dynamic. I mean,
No. Technically, you have 3
even
roommates.
my dynamic's different. They're just a money suck at this point, but time is there.
Oh, well, my roommates are too. I mean, like I pay the bill still. It's not like they're paying for rent.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
it's different. Like my daughter's 14. She's so self-sufficient now, and to the point where she's doing sleepovers with friends and things. And there's times like we have nobody in the house, and it's great. So we're starting to get that kind of freedom
It's coming.
as parents, but they're still financially a vacuum.
Remember,
Absolutely.
you're 10 years behind me, and he's 10 years behind you. So
Oh, just wait till they get into their teens.
I got a 10-year-old. He's 10 going on 42. Come on.
But give it another. Once you have a 1-year-old.
I think after 12.
Wait, what did you say? 3-year-old?
That
10,
switch just
4, and
changes.
3.
3. So in 10 years or in 8 years when she's 10, just think how different it's going to be.
Oh,
your
wildly
life will be
different.
way less chaotic. Right now, it's all their stuff that they're involved in.
Yeah.
Different academic stuff and sports.
See, my situation, and these guys know this. You obviously don't know me very well, but I had this awesome rule, and I'm breaking it right now with coach. I coach baseball at Boylan,
Okay.
so I'm breaking it right now. But besides March, April, May, I have a cool rule that I don't work after 5 o'clock. That's family time.
Yeah.
So anything that I want to do personally is going to be in between 8 when I drop the kids off at school and 5. So
well, it's the non-negotiables. Like
that's my non-negotiable, and I break it for baseball, coaching baseball. But my 10-year-old comes with me almost every day to baseball.
Yeah.
And he enjoys that.
And that's what
So-
you got to do. If you put it in the schedule, it'll get done.
Right.
And
Just
you can get as
same thing.
much done in 6 hours as you could in 12 hours if you actually focus
Right.
on it.
So my time of going to the gym would have to be like 5 a.m. and I'd be back by 6 so my wife can get ready to go to school.
Yeah.
So, but
And that's normal. You know, we have 500 members throughout the 3 locations that work out and train with us consistently 3 to 5 times a week. Our average person is between the ages of 35 and 50, newer to working out consistently, doesn't eat the right type of food, wants to lose 20 or more pounds, has 2 or more kids, has a full-time job, an unsupportive spouse when it comes to changing habits and, oh, why are you doing this and stuff like that. So that is normal, 100%. And that's why when we design the workouts and put everything together, the biggest thing I like to see people when they start is forget everything you thought you knew about health and exercise, and let's just start right now.
question, do you have a like showers and stuff at the gym?
We don't.
You don't.
You know, we had our location in Roscoe for a little while, and we had 2 showers there. And in 6 years, they got used 1 time. So we did away with those. But, you know, our training sessions are 45 minutes. And so you're in, you're out. So like you said, you get there at 5, you leave 5 minutes early. If you had to, you'd be home by 5:50. Or you get there at 6, you get home at 6:50, whatever it is. If you can't make the morning, then we actually have an evening session. You can bring your kids with you. They can sit in the room, hang out, and watch while you're training. We also train.
Yeah, they have a kids' room.
We train teens for free. So if they're 13 or older, they can train right with you, making the excuses less. So I can't come, my kids bring them with. They need to see it too and, you know, lead by example. So we try and make that as simple as possible. We get as much done in the smallest amount of time because, like I said, nobody likes working out.
Right.
I like the results. I like wakeboarding. I like being able to walk around the mall with my shirt off, you know, stuff like that. I don't actually like the act of getting there. And even back to, you know, kind of like you're talking about a little bit, like follow your passion, do a job you love, and you never. I don't know if that is 100%. You know where I would go with that, but like every job that I have now was my passion, but then I turned it into a business and I hate it all. I have, you know, I have a different respect for working out now, and I started the gym as a coach, as a trainer.
Right.
I haven't trained anybody in 8 years because now I have a business. Now I go in there and this is out of place and the wall's not swept. Like it just takes all the fun out of it. We started axe throwing.
That's why you have a membership and do your own thing.
Yeah.
Because that's your time and that's your space.
I got to take care of myself first.
Yep,
You know, if the
100%.
planes crash and you put your air mask on and then you help all the other people. But if I can't get my, you know, like you said, busy, schedule 45 minutes, how do you do it? If I can't get my 45 minutes in, nobody wants to be around me after that anyway, or I'm not going to be as productive or as influential as I need
Or
to be
not as
to keep moving
nice.
forward.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so that's a tough one. But, when it comes to fitness, you just got to get in there and do it. And, like I was saying, the biggest thing is forget everything you knew about health and fitness, because that got us to where we are. And for most people, if they're happy with their health and fitness, they're not talking to me because they're already doing it. So
Right.
the reason they're talking to me is because they need
Help.
or need a change or something kickstart. And, what I did in high school, I don't do that for workouts now. I have to forget all that. I don't do jumping around and all that heavy lifting, like my shoulders hurt and stuff. My goal now is to get out of bed without my back hurting half the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff has changed, but I also have other stuff to do. So I have to make it as quick and as efficient as possible.
So in the future, do you have any like events or running any promotions or anything that for the average Joe that would thinking about getting into it?
That is, the average Joe is who we are. And it's just like if you go to Walmart, there's not a lot of people, jacked walking around in sports bras and stuff that are training with us, unless they've been there for a while and they're supposed to be pretty good at it. But most people are just regular people. Right now, and anyone listening to this, we would definitely give you 3 weeks free to check it out. You get unlimited access to all the training sessions at all 3 locations, so you can bounce around. If you work in Belvidere or live in Machesney, you can go to wherever location you want. We give you unlimited nutritional guidance, which is way more important than the exercise. Most people are with us 3 hours a week. It's the other 165 hours that makes the difference. So we're going to call you, text you, how's your food? Miss a day or two, we're going to call you, text you. Miss a week or two, if that's the level of accountability you want, we're going to come get you. And that's one of the biggest things is I don't want somebody to go to their neighbor and say, well, yeah, I go there, but I really haven't been there this month. I'd rather have you say nothing. Take your money and buy a watch. At least you'd have something at the end of that month instead of wasting it with me.
Right.
That's what people say about Planet Fitness and Anytime Fitness. And those places are great for people who are self-motivated, for people who can go in there without the accountability. 80% of our membership base has a membership somewhere else. But that membership is just access to equipment that they don't need or know how to use. So for most people, that's kind of pointless.
Well, that's the scariest thing when you go into a gym and you're like, how do I work this? And they're like, you stay away from it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you watch other people and then people looking at you like, what are you looking at, weirdo? Because I'm trying to figure out how to work this equipment. I'm watching you.
That's where you get those awesome, funny videos where people like snapping bands and hitting themselves in the crotch and falling over, dropping weights.
I've been doing fitness for 25 years. And even me, when I walk into a new place, I'm a little unsure, even though I am fully confident in everything I do in the gym setting. Like that is my second place. But if there's a new machine going on and there's other big, like jacked guys, that I might just kind of walk the other way too. So it is an intimidating setting. So we try and make that as unintimidating as possible.
Awesome. All right. Well,
great episode. Thanks again, Mike.
Thank you, Mike, for
joining
being
us.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
We love to hear all your stories, and man, you're about as self-made as they come, my friend. And I'm proud of everything that you've achieved.
Thank you.
It's not easy. I'm learning it firsthand. There's days where I want to just quit everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it takes, you just persevering through it, and it's not, everything looks roses when you're a business owner or you're self-employed until you really are doing it yourself. So
Yeah.
I know exactly.
25-year overnight success.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Well, you guys know what to do. YouTube.
Yeah, do all the YouTube-y things. We need you to like, share, subscribe. Remember, watching the shorts, the only way you're going to get the episode the day it comes out is to be a subscriber to YouTube. I'm not posting it everywhere else until a day or two after. So get on our YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe, or listen everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Also, thank you for all the views that we've been getting on TikTok.
TikTok.
It is blowing up.
We're finally
Shorts.
using the platform, and it's going to go away.
Well, no, they got a 75-day extension.
Another
so we're
one?
good. Yeah. Because there's progress being made.
Yes, there you go.
All right, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.